Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Kevin from Us Versus Movies. I have Dustin with me. Say hello to good people, Dustin.
Hello, good
Oh, man.
people.
Great sound. Great sound. Well, you've clicked on this episode of the show, so you know that we are going to be talking about The Wrong Missy.
Not the right Missy, but the wrong Missy.
Because all that I know, it's on Netflix. It came out May 13th, and there's no untexting her now. Oh,
Jesus.
man. Dayton, right? Am I right, fellas and ladies?
I think in their Netflix's new top 10 or whatever thing, this was like number 10. At least yesterday it was when I watched
I saw it dance around. Yeah, Netflix has this like, here's what's cracking. Here's your new top 10. And when I first saw it, it was number one. And I was like, what's that? And then I saw it again. It was number two. And then I didn't have access to it, so I don't know what happened to it after that. Number 10.
Well, yeah, number 10 now. I mean, it's had a couple of weeks, I mean, in my office, it made the rounds. Everyone was like, ooh, the wrong Missy. I now no longer trust anyone in the office. This 90 minutes rated nothing because our TVMA, I guess, is how they rate it. Meta score of 33, just in case anyone was wondering, because that just kind of jumped out at me because it was so bold and red. Directed by Tyler Spindell, who you will know from this year's Deported, which also sounds terrible, and Father of the Year, another Adam Sandler joint.
Wait, did he do The House Bunny as well?
No, he only directed these two. He didn't direct. He was involved on that one.
Oh, I see.
But he didn't direct that one.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. He was the assistant director for 7 other Adam Sandler movies. One of which was The House Bunny. And that's where I'm going to go with all these connections here, Kevin, is he did his time. He did his time as the assistant director. Then we have writers Chris Pappas and Kevin Barnett, who did The Do-Over. And so they got another chance. Kevin Barnett also did Hall Pass and The Heartbreak Kid. Heartbreak Kid shares a lot of similarities to this movie in that it's about dating the wrong woman and Hawaii. So, I'm not saying he's a one-trick pony, maybe a 2.
Dude, is this like... So what you're kind of getting at, they're all buddy. This is like a buddy production.
Oh, I'm connecting all the dots of like, did you do your Adam Sandler time? If so, welcome to the Netflix money.
The usual suspects and get that Adam Sandler Netflix money.
Yeah, I mean, starring David Spade, of course, who, he's David Spade. SNL, countless other things. I mean, he basically has continued to have a career because of Adam Sandler.
Isn't Nick Swartzen? Wasn't he an alum?
Yeah, Nick Swartzen, who Grandma's Boy and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Then we have Lauren Lapkus, which you're like, well, what was she in? Blended with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore's third attempt at box office magic and their final attempt because it had no box office magic.
I saw the one where they went to Africa. Which one was that one?
That was the blended one.
Oh, shit.
I
don't remember her in that at all. She must have been a throwaway character.
She was a throwaway character. In fact, her credits are a lot of throwaway characters and then a lot of voice acting where she's not a throwaway character, but like a main character. Her list of credits, like from 2014 to 2016, she got like 50 credits acting credits.
Busy Beaver.
Yeah. And then we have Jackie Sandler. You'll never guess what she's from.
Adam Sandler's nutsack?
No, it's his wife. I mean, when she's not attached to it. Yeah, you're right.
Cha-ching.
Then we have Jeff Pearson, who you might know as Al Bundy II. He's most notable for he plays like crooked politician a lot, or like
he's the old 1%er bad guy.
Yeah, but he also had a TV stint of Unhappily Ever After, which was created by the Married with Children people, and it was just Married with Children again, but with a rabbit, like a stuffed rabbit that he talked to.
Yeah, I remember kind of liking that because I didn't have like Nikki Cox in it, was like the daughter, and I thought she was a mega babe, and I was always like, she should have been the first fucking Mary Jane when they did the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, and then when they casted Turtle Face Snaggletooth Kristen Dunst, I was like, oh, what? There is no justice in Hollywood, and that's when I realized it. Sidebar.
But he's played like he plays dad character, like well-off dad, police dad, political dad, funny dad.
He has a good grouchy old dad look.
Oh, he does, totally. And
he's great. He has a great look, yeah.
We have Molly Sims. You're looking for the Adam Sandler connection. It's Benchwarmers with, David Spade and Rob Schneider.
Don't forget Rob Schneider.
Yeah. Rob Schneider. Yeah, I'm not doing all of, there's like his.
He's playing some weird guy with a weird, terrible accent.
With a weird accent.
Weird abnormality about him that he's in for 5 seconds, but he tries to steal the scene. But you're kind of just like, hey, man, fucking stop doing this.
Yeah, please stop.
We remember the water boy. Please stop.
I'll get to that when we're talking. Then there's Sarah Chockle, who has no connection. I could find none. This is her first foray into the Happy Madison family, so I'm sure she'll have many roles in the future. And then there's Jared Sandler. Guess the relation there.
Nutsack?
Nephew. Damn. It's his nephew. He
was he the swoosh guy?
He plays Stuart, the guy that was always getting the wrong coffee for some reason.
Oh, that was so awkward. I will talk about that later.
Yes. And then there's Chris Tatone, and you're like, well, what's the relation here? It's his brother-in-law, or he's related to his wife somehow. I assume brother-in-law based on age and look. And then the more of the usual connections, and then for some reason Roman Reigns. So
yeah.
But all of just about Jeff Pearson, I didn't cover what he was connected. Jack and Jill. In fact, a lot of these people, Jack and Jill.
Oh, they had some redemption.
Yeah, he was just like, listen, I owe you for Jack and Jill. We're gonna shoot in Hawaii. Does that make it up for you? You get the Netflix money, you get Hawaii, and everyone will remember Jack and Jill, which is for some reason streaming a lot right now in a lot of places. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's all it was. It was kind of like, here's all my friends, here's all my family. We're just gonna hang out in Hawaii, and maybe we're gonna put this movie together. We'll see what happens. And then Vanilla Ice, because you're in that one movie with my son, and you're really down with us. So fuck
Is it a movie with his son?
Yeah, like the one where Adam Sandler had like a son.
I
keep
with the other guy from SNL, Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
That's my boy. I'm not gonna lie, terrible movie, but I did laugh a bunch at it. More than I thought I was going to. So I don't hate that movie. It's easy to hate, but I don't go, oh, that's his worst one. I go, I laughed.
Okay, well then then I just found the Sarah Chockle connection, because she worked with Andy Samberg in like 2 projects. So yeah, I kind of forgot about that movie. All right, yeah, so there you go. There's
is this 9 degrees of Happy Madison?
It's like sometimes just 2. Sometimes it's just like we already did one, we're back again. Like I said, there's a lot of Jack and Jill favors here.
Yeah, it's a lot. Real mafioso. We take care of our own.
Yeah. I mean, I would even say some of these people would not be making money currently. Like when you really look at the age of the room, the quality of material, if it wasn't just some weird fascination people have with Adam Sandler on Netflix, I don't know. But
dude, it had Jorge Garcia. Wasn't that the guy from Lost?
That is the guy from Lost.
Was that supposed to be funny? He's on a plane?
And going to Hawaii.
Was that supposed to get a laugh from that? I wasn't a Lost guy, so I was just like, even I knew that though.
Well, and he's currently on Hawaii 5-0, which is rapping, and was also filmed in Hawaii. So.
He's like, I live in Hawaii, guys.
He's like, I just live.
Or does Hawaii live in me?
He's like, when I get big enough to eat it, it will.
Malau. What? That's fucked up. He hasn't done anything.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hey man, we got a lot of people to be attacking. He's not one of them.
He's not. No, actually, he's like the one. He's a shining star in all this. But anyway, Kevin, do you want to kick us out? I just wanted to go through that because as I was kind of like, doing the usual of like, this is what you know him from. I was like, you know what? Instead, let's just find the Adam Sandler connection because there is one. There's one for all of these, as we discovered. So
yeah,
maybe even outside of just being one of his friends, like the goofy-eyed guy and all the other fucking people that are just there all the time.
Overall, I just kind of want to give you the tone for this movie. It's very 90s. It's kind of held together by a shoestring of an idea of a romantic comedy, I guess. Romance is kind of fleeting. It goes in and out, but
romance is dead officially. If this movie is your romantic comedy that I don't know, that you
heavy on heavy on the air quotes comedy, but
air quotes on the romantic part too.
Okay, that's what I meant.
Air quotes on movie as well. I don't know. I mean,
that's what I meant to say. Sorry, movie.
Long TV episode, possibly
with a touch of raunch. They put a little side raunch on there.
Yeah.
So, it kind of made me chuckle at times on certain gags, but
not gonna lie, there's 5 times I think, around 5 times. It could be more, it could be less, that I definitely laughed, like legit laughed.
Yeah, and I think the Lauren Lapkus, I think she does a pretty good job. I mean, they lean on her for probably about 95% of this movie just to be like, it's a blitzkrieg of her just jokes going. It teeters on detriment sometimes, but they pull out, if you will, at sometimes they kind of just stop and then move on to something else. And then they give you almost like a 10-minute break from her, and then she cranks back up.
It just 10 minutes. I did not feel like 10. It
maybe
felt like
seconds.
Maybe 10 seconds, sometimes 30. If you're lucky.
I think she kind of, in all honesty, I think she had a little bit of I don't know if people are saying this, but she had a little Jim Carrey about her, like an early Jim Carrey, where they were just like, hey, go out there and do weird faces and reactions and say shit. And if you can ad lib, we're gonna let the camera roll. Just be funny. And she was
that's one of the things. There's apparently a lot of ad libbing.
You can
in the
tell,
movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you could definitely tell. But I was looking on IMDb, and they did like a whole interview on their ad libbing, and apparently it was pretty much everything that's wrong with this movie, probably.
I think they were like, hey, you're funny, go be funny. And she's like, okay, we'll see what hits and we'll see what misses.
Comedy's organic. I can't be contained by a script.
Yeah, I think, that's what happens when you have one person given like 100% energy in almost every scene, and everyone else just kind of staring at her, maybe making a face and then looking down at the floor. David Spade, like, it's not going to be your Chris Farley that you're looking for to replace those Tommy Boy / Days that you guys are creating on these movies. He's not shitty to her in that vein where he's like hyper sarcastic, because that's almost run dry. I used to find David Spade pretty funny until he kind of just like, he's just kind of a dick. So you're just like, well, that's not funny if you're just kind of that person. And no offense, but if I put little rhinestones in your ears, you'd probably look like an old lesbian with your hairpiece on 90% of the time.
I mean, is that a hairpiece? Like,
dude, watch
understand his hair.
Like, it's like he has the hair of like a 12-year-old, right? But like he looks just fucking beat in the face. And you're like, all right, I get it, you're older, but like you have a hat on these water scenes. It gets wet once and it looks really like fucking hair club for men. I mean, I'm not beating him up because, hey man, everyone's got their fucking vices, but it's like, but you're not funny in this. Like, you're just kind of like, you have like he has no personality, he has no energy, you know what I mean? He's just there, and anybody could have played his role, you know?
Well, let's get into it, because I think that is apparent right from the beginning as he enters a restaurant and receives a text message from his blind date of what she is wearing and where she is located. Instantly, there's trouble, Kevin.
Yeah, so she's like, oh, I'm at the bar and I'm wearing this and that. So he goes up to WWE Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is talking to his wife.
I'm just a guy named Joe.
Yeah, and you're just like, he's like, hey, this is like my wife. This is my date, buddy. What's the deal? And he's like, excuse me, partner. And then they kind of start going back and forth. And he's like, what? He's like, this is my wife, you little turd. And he's like, oh my God,
pregnant wife.
Yeah, and he, yeah, like I thought there was gonna be more jokes with her being pregnant, but like maybe there was in like the 2 hour version.
Was that his real wife? I think that was his real wife because
I'm not sure.
His wife did just have like twins or something.
It probably was. They probably just like, hey, you want to go to Hawaii? And he was like, yeah, dude.
Cool, because we're actually just gonna film your part in LA in a restaurant. Enjoy.
Do that fast 9, man. What's up? So yeah, he just kind of was like, oh, mistaken identity, and then the chick shows up. She's like, boom, got ya, dick sniffer, ha ha ha. And he's like, oh, what?
Yeah, he's very confused, as he should be, because I think any date that this happens to would be over.
Like, I mean, you got to be in a real. I mean, you got to have a real good attitude about it. But apparently, his mom hooked him, or his grandma hooked him up.
Because we gotta always. It's always the grandma with Happy Madison. It's always there.
It's always the grandma. So she, and then I think it's gonna. I'm not gonna recap everything she does. But she basically goes 0 probably to 100, and he just kind of
115 easy.
He just kind of sits there. Granted, there's like some things she keeps the joke going, where she's like, "Are you why fucking me, boy?" And I was just like, "What?" And she's talking to fucking Roman Reigns across, and Roman Reigns is like, "What? I'm not even looking at you. Calm down,
he was
bitch."
Just like, she's like, "We're on a date," and he's like, "What do you think we were doing before you ruined it?"
Yeah. So, and then there's another gag where she's like, I got Stella here or whatever, Lazy Susan. Sheila.
And he's like, are you talking about your vagina? And because that seems like where the joke's going.
Right.
And then she pulls out a Crocodile Dundee knife, which they make a Crocodile Dundee joke.
And I just go into the Wayback Machine so all the kids can get it. And I'm just like, it's like a 10-inch blade. It fits barely in her purse. It's just this fucking... goddamn, it's like the knife you get in Call of Duty Zombies. You just like,
it's a gator killer. You kill an alligator that is trying to kill you with it.
Yeah.
And you hope that you succeed. So.
And then he's just kind of like, what the fuck? I gotta take a dump. So he goes into and she's like, gotta take a drop of deuce. Yeah, what's up, me too? It's just real crass humor from her, but she's going a mile a minute. Like, if you laugh at any of her jokes, you're going to miss like the next 5. He ends up in the stall, and then he's like, I got to get out of here. This isn't happening. So he starts to classically go out of the window.
Of a 2-story restaurant, I might add.
She slips under the fucking door. She's like, what's up, man? You got the fucking poopy scoopies? He's like, So she just more of her, and he ends up just like, she's like, all right, cool, man, you pinch it off, I'll be out here. And she's like, actually, and then he just basically falls out the window. She goes to rescue him. He's broken his ankle, and it's hanging on by a thread. And she's like, will you try to dip on me, man? What's going on here? He's like, oh no, I just she's like, don't worry, I can place this. I'm a fucking, what is she? Is like a chiropractor. She basically has all these
certified EMT. So.
Right. So yeah. she's like, okay, I can't give me
which
3.
Begins the long running joke that she's certified in like everything convenient to every situation. Conveniently humorous to every situation.
Right. And huge plot points, MacGuffins, and mulligans and all this stuff.
the whole fucking movie's a mulligan. Mulligan. Playing through mulligan.
So basically, I don't even know his name, but his name's David Spade, has the worst date ever.
No, it's Tim.
Tim.
I believe. Tim.
Tim from...
That's a plot point. Yeah, Tim Morris.
Yeah.
Tim Morris. No, his real hair doesn't look as bad. I don't know why they gave him that wig. Or at least
it could have. It might not have been a wig. Maybe he just had like implants done or something. I don't know.
Or
when he gets wet in a couple of scenes.
They did attack his hair a lot in the movie, though, and his age, which...
Yeah. Well, that's funny, though. She's like, what are you, fucking, like, 65? And I kind of was like, yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, I was like, I think you're on the mark. Like, yeah, spot on.
So, yeah, that's kind of her thing. She's just roasting him. Whatever. It's the worst date ever, and he kind of gets back to his normal life.
Yeah, 3 months later,
it's
he's
basically
at work.
Yeah, it's he's at work and the fucking the HR guy, what's his name?
Nick Swartzen.
In the movie.
I don't think it really actually fucking matters because he is just Nick Swartzen. He's not.
Yeah, he's not acting.
A character. His name is Nate, so it's not even like it's that much of a stretch.
Yeah.
I don't even think anyone calls him Nate. I think that was just like.
I don't think anyone ever says his name. They just kind of speak at him.
Yeah, that's because he just runs around like a giant child on a sugar rush, and I was like, is this guy actually this fat now, or?
Oh, he got huge.
They put him in a fat suit. Yeah, but I don't know. It just he looks different, too different to me to just go. Oh, is he just like that now? Like, no judging, but like, all right, whatever.
No, I had to do a double take. I was like, oh, that's a dude. Oh man, he got that Hollywood money. He's doing really eating 3 times a day.
He's doing some real eating, like competitive eating with himself. He's like, all right, how many burgers did I have yesterday? 15. Fuck it, we're gonna do 17 today. I did like his spiel because he is like some hacker extraordinaire. He's all up in his shit.
He's HR and he has all his passwords basically, and he's like, well, stop using your password for your Gmail and stop using a password for your. Basically, I'm watching you. So they have that gag that progresses. You find that fucking Tim here is still pining over his ex fiance that you're just like, oh, that's the one that kind of got away. So he's kind of hurting. So that's why he took the chance on the blind date from Graham.
Yeah. And then it's off to, they don't even say where he's flying to.
Well, yeah, he's just doing a gig because he's part of this, I don't know, financial institution that's merging with this other one. So he
seemed like it was insurance.
I couldn't really tell. They didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it definitely doesn't matter, but there's two companies merging. He's going out for the weekend to do sales? Question mark? Yeah, because he's trying to become
sales leader. Because there's a promotion with a merger,
and he's up against
the Barracuda.
The Barracuda, because apparently Adam Sandler is like, give my wife the worst fucking name.
Her name's. Well, her actually name it's Jess Shepard, aka the Barracuda.
AKA the Barracuda. Did they explain why she's the Barracuda? No. Do you have to just know about Barracudas? Apparently, yes. But he did well for himself. I'll say that much.
She's hot when she's in that bikini, man.
I had no complaints about any of her work.
I was like, look at the hips on this girl.
I was just like, you never know. She knocked out 2 of his seed.
Not bad. Oh, with those hips she did. She knocked them across the room. And I was like, damn, girl.
She converted for him.
What?
I read that's like the second line in her bio. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's what we're leading. All right, whatever. Wikipedia.
45.
Whatever. Yeah, so he's like, I'm off to the airport. Fuck dating. If the right girl's out there, I'm a phone call away or something. And there's some joke about the affair. I don't know why they're plugging the affair so hard because it's canceled first and foremost and only had like 3 seasons. I don't know. I guess it's popular around the Happy Madison water cooler.
It had the fans. Okay, once you got the fans, you live on forever.
And so then he is in the airport. He's pining over the phone still. He bumps into Miss Molly Sims, it doesn't really matter. She's Melissa. She's a Melissa. One of the Melissas in this movie. Do you see what's happening, audience? Do you see what's happening?
The audience is like, dude, we got it from the title.
Yeah. They switch bags. Then that forces David Spade to go chase her down to try to get his ticket back. He just misses her flight. And there she is. They exchange names because they both read each other's tickets. And then they share a moment in the airport bar.
Dude, this is... What are you reading? A fucking epitaph?
I'm getting there. Yeah, they find out they are the perfect couple because they are like the same woman, basically.
Right. They're both at the same spots of their life. They both don't drink. They both love the Patterson novels. they both have this like perception about the world and music and all this shit, and they just kind of blend.
Oh God, that line about the music. I love all those same bands too. I was just like, Jesus, did we even try?
I love internet. And he was like, I love my Wi-Fi.
Do you love the cat memes? Me too. Have you seen this one? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and then it's just whose life's sadder. And he was like, I tried to make out the Grubhub guy, and he wasn't having it.
What the fuck? That Grubhub joke sucked so much balls, and they were just like
3 times
putting the Grubhub joke. Yeah, 3 times, and none of them landed. None of them. Not even the last one, which had the most potential of just him in his bed.
Here's what I would have done if we did. There's a bunch of scenes where he's sitting in bed watching us assume the affair, and then he's ordering Grubhub, right? Like the first time they do it, it stinks. The second time they do it, it stinks. If he would have just been like, you've already said that this is the joke, right?
Yeah.
He should have been like, hey, Grubhub guy, want to come up and watch the affair with me? And then like from outside, he should have been like, fuck you, or threw something through the window, or give me some sort of physical payoff instead of him just going, no. What?
Or just show him, make him a character that I can go, I like it when he says no to him.
They love all their weird characters. This was a perfect opportunity. Yeah. It could have been like, that should have been Vanilla Ice or something. Everyone would have had a laugh then. They'd be like, oh, Ice Baby. Now he's
still bad with money.
Rip Van Winkle. Henry Van Winkle? Is he the Fonz?
Rob. Yeah, no. That's Henry.
I know, dude. I'm sorry. I was trying to have a laugh. I
was just trying to help myself there. It wasn't really about
just speaking out loud.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no,
I would have called him all these things.
That's Henry. Yeah, it just and like dick pics were brought up so many times. Like, just fucking, I don't know, just send him a dick pic at that point.
Well, yeah,
and have him just be like.
Well, that's why I thought the joke was going, because there's a dick pic joke, and the Grubhub guy would have been like, guy, man, I'm sorry to get your sauce, but this is uncalled for. Something.
Listen, I'll go back and get it, but don't ever send me this shit again, okay?
The Grubhub guy would be like, so, did you better want Wiener Schnitzel? Because I got Wiener Schnitzel. Is this a tip? Oh, the tip? Oh, I get it. Fuck you. He just throws it through the window. Something.
Yeah. He's like, can you throw that back? I need that for work. Just don't touch it with your penis.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah. So this leads to a passionate moment in a janitor's closet at the airport. Possibly the easiest thing to get into, apparently. It's also very spacious. Stuff,
man. There's chemicals in there. You puff that, you'll die.
Yeah. So they make out poorly. Her flight is called. She somehow hears it through the closet door. That's a fire door, though, because of the chemicals that Kevin mentioned.
Dude, low key, if I got the script and I said I had to make out with fucking David Spade, I'd be like, you know what? Thank you for the opportunity, but I'm gonna go ahead and pass.
But she was in the Benchwarmers with David Spade, so I think she might have already made out with him.
Dude.
Or Napoleon Dynamite guy, which is kind of like a taller David Spade if you really look at their faces. But
yeah, but these guys get all the sweet trim.
Welcome to fucking Hollywood, where ugly men get the trim.
Supreme.
Yeah. And so, and then he...
Yeah, that should be a show. We just follow ugly Hollywood dudes just getting the hottest bitches.
Why are you following me? Just fucking get the women.
Get the women that nobody can believe you get. God, look at him. He sucks. Hey. Why are you fucking him? He's ugly.
She's like, shut the fuck up.
She's like, dude, I'm not blind. I'm like, all right.
SAG, shut up. This is how Hollywood, sadly, we all know this is how Hollywood works now. There was an expose. Okay.
Can I get SAG too?
Can I get... You keep talking that goddamn camera, you will. Excellent. So he lands wherever he's going to make sales. We still don't really know or care. I think, it's probably mentioned at the airport, but who gives a fuck?
What? I don't even remember that. He just ends up at home, dude.
No, he's at the hotel. He's at a hotel.
Oh, that's right, because he's trying to text her. Yeah, he's doing we just talked, so I text her now. Like I'm 12 years old. Dude, she's hot. You're fucking grown. You're on a working clock, dude. You're like 58. You look like a...
65.
You look like an old lady's wrinkled tit. You need to make a move.
Yeah. You're like You're like a Benjamin Button right now, okay? Just fucking aging out to death, all right?
He's going the wrong way to the right way. I never saw the movie, but
who knows? He's not acting as well as Benjamin Button did. Yeah, so he texts her, then she texts back. She instantly asks for a dick pic.
Yeah.
And, no red flags go up for his character. He's very modest.
Did that match the personality I sat with the fucking airport bar with for 2 hours? Did it?
Like, maybe throw out a question, but like, hey, did you finish reading that book? And if they're like, what book? But oops, wrong person.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How was your flight?
Yeah. How was your... Did you land safely? None of these questions that you would probably ask someone who you have a very limited knowledge of, other than they are traveling and they like these four things that you've talked about.
Did the seltzer water help your tum-tum on the plane? It helped mine. I love you.
Did you make it to your gate? Did you? I assume, since you didn't come back and like kill me for making you miss your flight again. So
do I look like an old lady's elbow skin with a wig? She'd been like, yes.
You do. Be careful. Some teenage boy is probably going to play with you thinking you're a titty. So
true story.
True fucking story. So he just rolls with it. He keeps talking to her, and it seems to, I guess, be going well. He goes back to work on Monday. HR's all up in his shit. He's just like, damn, dude, what you doing, what you got, what you good for. He shows him the picture of the woman who was apparently Miss Portland or something.
Kentucky.
It's Kentucky. Oh, that's right. The wife was this other wife or something. Anyway, the Barracuda is just like bullshit. That's
yeah.
You've never seen a woman like that.
Listen, I think this chick's really attractive, but her delivery, she couldn't act her way out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah, it was
so bad. There was no humorous tone. And I was just like, is she just the bad guy?
Yeah,
to be the bad guy?
As a bad guy, though. She had no aggressive tone. At no point did I go, God, I hate her, and I hope he wins.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, I forgot that she was the Barracuda. I was like, when's the Barracuda going to show up? They keep talking about the Barracuda. Where's oh, that's right.
Yeah, dude.
It's her. She can't act.
She can't act. She didn't have any like playful, humorous tone. She wasn't malice. It wasn't vengeful. It wasn't anything. Yeah. It was just kind of like, hey, what's up, lip dicks?
That mean to him. No, she wasn't even like that. She wasn't even that mean. Yeah. Like, how many opportunities throughout the movie did she have the perfect chance to like crush that woman and did nothing? It wasn't until it was convenient to the story that she did it. And even then it was just kind of like, oh, that's not even that hurtful.
Exactly.
It was more like nice and informative.
It was only convenient to the story because the story was just like, here's literally 45 minutes of this Missy chick just going off and letting her. It's the Lauren fucking lamp. It's just, hey, go be funny. And it's really just a stage for her, if you ask me. And then they just like, hey, let's scoot some story things in here because we can't have you just lighten up the scene for fucking 45 minutes. Yeah. Even though we do. And we don't think Jared Sandler's ready for a starring role. No, dude,
so we're gonna have
he's not ready. No pun intended, or no comparison. He's not even ready to fucking get coffee, man. Like that guy, and I'm like, listen, you guys didn't give him a rope to hang himself with, but man, you let him fall down those stairs pretty hard.
I mean, he found one and then fell down the stairs to make sure that finished the job.
I was like, dude, P fucking you, bro. Like,
yeah.
No, to go back to this part right here, like after that, you kind of meet his new boss too, and just the overall.
No, not yet. We have
just the boss in general. Like the boss is a very '90s. Hey, what's up, you tiny pecker? You gonna make those sales? I'm like, dude, I don't know about you guys. I work for a big company. No one talks like that. No one. It would be
not the boss.
Especially not HR. Especially not all. No one does this. I don't know what jobs you guys might have, but don't go. You go to anybody that you work with.
HR is not running up and be like, yeah, whoa, did you plow that pussy? In the fucking office place. Never. In fact, HR is not even someone you'd be friends with because you'd hate them.
Yeah,
Be
because they just
"Fuck
be like,
bitch."
listen, man, we can't. No, we're not talking. I mean, it's like, sure, that could be a thing, but just the overall dialogue, it was very. I was like, is this the Wolves of Wall Street? Because there's the way they're acted. I was like, this isn't a thing. And I know it's a comedy, but it's just like,
Yeah, but like when you're so painstakingly trying to include these realistic aspects of a job, of a merger, and like these are a big part of the story because they are the reason we're going through the story, you know?
it's really the
The
only
dating
reason.
and everything just happens along the way, but that's why they're in Hawaii. That's why he's bringing a woman.
Well,
This is all important to the core elements of our story, and they're very unbelievable. Like,
yeah, the thing is like you could have done this story almost any way and anywhere. Like it didn't have to be to these big epic locations. But as we already said, it's a friend movie and everyone's chilling in Hawaii in between takes.
it sure should didn't need to be in Hawaii. You could have done any hotel, fucking ever.
Yeah, you could have just done
Like
anything.
at no point was I like, oh, Hawaii, you're so beautiful. I want to go visit you. It's like you see a hotel, you see water. And that's
I mean, that was
kind
like a
of
nice
all of
hotel like,
Hawaii.
on the outside.
It's
Like,
definitely a nice hotel, but like there's nice hotel. Like that could have been Vegas too. You could have
no,
done
no,
Vegas.
and yeah, location wise, it could have been anything. I mean, there
Could
were a
have done
couple
any nice hotel anywhere. You know.
I guess it does block out some of their gags. You could just alter the gags, whatever. But yeah, like I don't know, that would just kind of stuck out to me. I was like, man, it's a very '90s way to handle things. And I like I said, I understand it's a comedy, but still, like,
Well, Kevin Barnett is like, hey man, I wrote The Heartbreak Kid.
I don't even know what that is.
2003. It's with Ben Stiller, and
I'm still drawing a blank.
it's not good.
Mystery Man?
I would not recommend watching it. I saw it in the theater. I don't
Whoa.
remember half the movie, Kevin. I
Where am I?
just gave up and started thinking of other shit. I was like, this is not a good date. And then my date was like, that was a good movie. And I was like, what the fuck movie did you watch?
What movie did I watch?
I blanked out the movie. And you know me, Kevin, I don't really blank out movies. I can pretty much tell you an entire movie. Like, that's why we're doing this, because I can tell you the entire fucking movie from beginning to end. I don't remember that movie. So, don't watch The Heartbreak Kid.
I never heard of it.
Yeah. Well, and you won't hear of it ever again after this. Though it has been streaming a lot lately. I think there's some weird package deal going on with all these fucking movies.
You're kind of saying that with every movie right now.
Nah, it's just weird. Anyway, so yeah, he invites Melissa from the plane to Hawaii, takes a chance, and HR upgrades his ticket, does all this extra stuff for him for no reason, I guess, other than being his
buddy.
friend.
Yeah, he's his friend. He wants to see him happy.
Hey, why is HR booking the tickets? Like, that's not an
loopholes, man.
It's not an HR job. HR would not be in charge of that at all.
Don't matter, man. We're just here for the laughs, dude. We got to put that. So we got to stop taking it literal. We got to take it out of the real world and bring it to the Happy Madison world of just fucking dick jokes, farts, and
so
physical comedy.
Yeah. So we're on the plane. David Spade, he has roses. He's trying to do a breath check.
God, that took so long.
Yeah, it was and it wasn't even like a good outcome to the joke. Like, you saw where it could go, and they were just like, no. So Hurley across the aisle, I'm just calling him that. He's like, hey man, can you, I'm gonna meet this girl. I'm really excited. Can you help me with my breath? He's like, oh yeah. Lay it on me, man. And it's just like, they do the rule of 3 until David Spade gets like awkwardly close to him, but it's not awkward enough. And David Spade just, you could tell he does not care that he's about to just like huff into this movie throat. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's just like, do I actually get to fly first class? That's all I'm here for. I have trust issues with like people. Like, he really does, but. And then, and then the guy's like, yeah, it's good. What is that? He's like, you just like brush your teeth or something. And it just like deflates everything. Like, there's just no humor there.
No, he asked him. He's like, did you brush your teeth with dog shit this morning?
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, I'm just kidding, man. You're great.
Well, but then he's just like, no, it smells really good. What is that?
Yeah. They couldn't decide what they wanted to do unless someone unless the ad-libbing
Yeah, that's what and that's what I think it is like the ad-libbing, they go really far and then they try to like pull it back by being like super nice, I guess, and it just deflates the joke like instantly, and the joke wasn't that good to begin with, so it was just like, what the fuck? So he sits down, a woman who we know is not the woman he's expecting crawls over him unapologetically and sits down next to him. And begins her.
It kind of made me laugh. He was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Like,
yeah.
The way he said it, I was kind of like, "Yeah."
Yeah, and in those moments, break his character because he's supposed to come off as this like really nice guy, but every time he has to like low key deal with her, he's just like, "What the fuck is that? What the fuck?" You know, like he just like F-bombs it, which didn't bother me, but it just seemed really out of character for him. But then, you know, no one really stays in character at all throughout this entire fucking movie. And then begins 90 more minutes of Lauren Lapkus just going and just going and shit. Going. And so she's talking, he checks his messages. He, for some reason, decides to look at the notes, and it says the one grandma met, and he's like, fuck. I've been messaging the wrong Missy.
Oh, shenanigans.
Title card, end movie. I wish.
They have some funny gags while they're on the plane. He eats like a dog tranquilizer or something.
Well, she throws it in his mouth. Yeah.
He's like, I swallowed that. And then he nods off, and then he wakes up, and she's jerking him off.
Yeah.
She's like, that's pretty nice to wake up to, huh? He was like, what? That's not bad.
I mean, that's not the part that made me laugh. It was more of that old lady behind him. Like, this movie, the only parts I really laughed at were the super random normal people that had to interact with him. They made me laugh every time. So when the old lady's like, you're going to hell, to him, the way she said it, I believe she believed what she was saying. And then just the fact that the entire plane or like first class area had to like witness that. He's like, how long are you going for? She was like 40 minutes. And he was just like, oh, explain. Like that made me fucking laugh where they were just sitting there listening to her fucking grind his organ for fucking 40 minutes until he woke up and was just like, oh, what the fuck? So everything else was just like, yeah, he's like, yeah, you know, maybe stop, save it for the hotel room. Like he's kind of just like, no, don't touch my penis. And then some turbulence finishes him off, and he squeals like a young pubescent boy having a wet dream or something. I don't know. It's the best way I can describe that.
And then they just, I think we just teleport to the
just straight to the hotel.
Yeah, straight to the hotel.
Where they had to be Adam Sandler's kids. She just like picks a fight with these young girls over like, she says something about she's gonna like fucking ride a turtle, and they're like, they're in danger, don't do that, that would hurt them. And she's just like, I'll fucking ride you like a turtle or some shit. And I don't know, just gets in like a really, really weird yelling match with these young girls the minute they enter a hotel.
It didn't work for me, but it was kind of whatever. He's just kind of like letting her go off. And then the most depressing part of this movie, they go to the counter. And
very depressing.
Fucking Bobby Lee is the fucking the check-in desk employee. And I'm like, oh, fucking Bobby Lee's in this. This is going to get super funny. So, and they didn't give him fucking anything.
Nothing.
They're
like, Bobby Lee, you were on Mad TV. You don't get to tell jokes, okay?
Dude, I was like,
when you're
Bobby
on
Lee.
SNL, you get to be funny. You were on Mad TV, you get to eat a dick. And you're only here because you're also on Magnum PI, which films in Hawaii. So
were they just like cherry picking guys that were just close by? Hey, we're going to be in Hawaii.
Yeah.
We were doing that. Can you do?
Yeah, and I'm sure it came from the CBS connection because both of those are CBS shows that cross over. NBC, one of the two, doesn't matter to me.
Dude, they gave him nothing, bro. And I was just like, come on. That's when I was just like, this movie's kind of rubbing me the wrong way, movie. Like, I don't mind.
And then there was the greeting woman who you thought would say like anything, and she just kind of is like, okay. She just kind of stares at him like, oh, that was weird. and like walks away. And I was just like, that was the most unnatural response to everything that woman just said to you.
That I didn't mind because I was like, I don't, like you said, the old lady in the back, like I don't need everyone as a character, but
no, but it was just, then why did they interact for so long?
I don't know. It's just bad filming, bad director.
Bad Tyler Spindell.
Bad movie make. But when you have when you set up a perfect thing with a fucking comedian as to play off of,
recognizable one, dude looks so fucking hilarious just on sight because of his mustache. Yeah. His mustache, his hair. I was just like, oh, he didn't trim his look from Magnum PI. That's awesome. Thank you. Please do something funny.
I was so bummed out when they didn't use him, and I was just like, fucking
And then when they went back to him later on in the movie, and they still let him do nothing, I was like,
yeah, no, he shows up again, and I was like,
Bobby Lee in the movie.
Here comes Bobby Lee. He's got to crush it. Do something funny, Bobby. And there he's like, I can't. And I was like, what the fuck?
He's like, see you on Jack and Jill 2.
And I was like, fucking
that's the one where I get to go.
Yeah, I was really butthurt about that.
Yeah. And so she just continues to say, just raunchy sex things about his dick. She's going to get the dick, just
kind of funny.
It's like 5 minutes of it and it could have been funny, but it's just like the fact that no one acknowledged, what's missing is that she could be funnier, but you need someone to respond to what you're saying. They no-sell everything she says, so it's not actually funny. I'd never actually laugh because everyone no-sells. They're just in a different world than her. Yeah. No one, other than those teenage girls that yell at her, no one else interacts with the words that she says. And that's what killed. I never found her funny because of that, because she's just in her own world.
I think that is the
started to feel more like pity for her than humor from her.
No, so that's the thing. She's supposed to be kind of obnoxious and annoying and just loud and intrusive and all this stuff, but you kind of you kind of are pulling for her. You kind of do feel sorry for her because you're just like, dude, you're a funny chick, you're trying to have a good time, you're trying to lighten him up, but he's just he's a fucking loaf of bread in this movie. You know what I mean? He's just kind of like, oh, my boss, and I was like, dude, in the whole thing of the movie is there's another part where his ex fiance is there with another coworker.
Yeah.
So it's not really clear if she worked there or the coworker there, the Swish guy or Swift guy. And I was like, who's employed? I guess it really doesn't matter because you're both there.
Well, he is because he talks to him later.
That's good. Okay, they do. Okay. So I was kind of unclear about that immediately, and then I was like, all right, well, and then now just and then he's kind of pining after her, and then you have it. So technically in this movie, there's 3 good-looking women, one super funny, one super his speed, and then one he's longing for, all after this loaf of bread, right? And I'm like, what? How is this guy's not likable? He's not charming. He's not kind of doofy funny where you feel bad for him, but you're rooting for him.
No, it's not even typical David Spade. It's literally in this scene, this loaf of bread will be standing in for David. Please enjoy.
Exactly. A loaf of bread, blonde wig, and we're done.
Done. Scene.
It's 30 years, 30, 40 years, how long he's been doing this snarky character. If he doesn't have that, he doesn't have anything? What the fuck? That's the part.
And that's where he could have been a perfect straight man, but he kept breaking straight man to say what the fuck and kind of do kind of shady things towards her that stupidly why would you think she would just actually listen to you and stay in the hotel room?
Well, he's just rude and dismissive because it's almost like he's embarrassed from her, and it's kind of what it comes down to. And the HR guy, basically there's the boss throws this entry party of hey, this is kind of what we're going to be doing, this is a meet and greet warming thing, and HR's been oh, dude, the boss, you gotta hire Tim to be the new sales manager and stuff like that. He's got a killer wife.
And HR has been hyping up the other Melissa.
Right. The beauty pageant
for
Melissa.
Some fucking reason. Telling all the details.
About 2020 any modern day company.
Yeah, like it just his like why would you do that if you're friends? Why would you do that to your friend? Why would you set them up for complete and total failure? Because that's what he does. He sets them up for failure, and it's like, what the fuck?
That girl you accidentally bumped into for 5 seconds, you invited her. Did she show? I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and sell it to the boss. Like, yeah, boss, you love pageant pussy. Wait till you see Tim's wife, and you're like, what? What the fuck?
Yeah, she won a pageant. She plays tennis.
Hey, HR, like, this is not okay.
Our pageant wives, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, and also, why does HR have so much access to the president of the company? HR is like, you're doing your HR thing over in your HR corner. No one's like going over. No one wants to go over there. It either means they're in trouble or they're going to get someone in trouble.
Yeah, dude,
like the fucking infernal affairs. No one wants to talk to you. You're just there.
No,
using you when we need you.
He was one of the hackers that.
Oh, yeah, for so movie. every time Tim gets a fucking message or something, he responds instantly too, which could have been funny, I guess, if they weren't like also doing that in real time all the time as well. It just, I don't know. Nick Swartzen's character, there was like one or two times he actually made me chuckle, which we'll get to. But yeah, so let's just get to it. So they're doing the party. He's like, oh yeah, she's got jet lag, she's not coming or whatever. And then of course she shows up in like this
really crazy cocktail dress, like
it's just crazy.
Like it's rainbows and just kind of not casually dressed. Of course she's, but this part did make me laugh. I laughed pretty hard.
What part?
It's just thinking about it, I'm just kind of like, yeah, all right, that's funny. So she's kind of like everyone's just kind of like, wow, she's kind of odd. She's just real loud and just overbearing and just real in your face. And then so the Nick dude's like, dude, what the hell? Or wait, I keep calling him Nick. I don't know his name. It's Nick. So Nick goes over the HR guy to Tim. He's like, where's your wife? Where's the Melissa girl? Or the date?
Your date. You
yeah, where's your
her the wife?
I didn't mean to say wife.
He's like, yeah, you gotta get her to knock it off.
Yeah. He's like, what are you talking about?
He's like, I just told her to calm down.
She's over there reading people's palms and stuff, seeing their future, and I laughed so hard, dude. She told that
Calvin guy.
Yeah. He's like, hey, in 10 years, there's like you're gonna lose your leg in a motorcycle accident or something like that.
They're gonna put it on backwards and you're gonna be fucked.
And then the old dude with that thinning hair and like was it the guy with the fucked up eyes? I don't know. He was like, you need to. He's like, yeah, don't leave this place. Your plane's gonna go down.
Oh no, it wasn't like, the guy with the fucked up guy. He was just the really balding guy.
That dude was so funny.
She's like, don't get on a plane within 5 months.
And he was like,
or just get on my plane. I'm gonna live for a long time. And he's just like, what the fuck? We just got here.
He's like,
and she's just like,
his reaction.
Boy. He's like,
yeah,
so that's
scared.
Cal Jr. She's like, he's standing over your grave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part made me laugh because that guy sold the joke.
Exactly.
He sold the guy who found out his leg's gonna be put on backwards and he's fucked, stood there and was like, I'm Adam Sandler's brother-in-law.
Yeah, I think it just his acting chops wasn't there. But the dude that knew comedy and timing and pacing, when she said that, he sold it. He was like, "Oh, what the?" And it made me laugh so hard. He's like, "He's standing over you," and I was like, "Or your grave." Dude, I died because that's funny. It's funny. His reaction was funny. Like everything was funny. But then you get whisked into another funny. Like that's my overall. God, I don't even. It's so hard to do. She's humorous. Like I would love to see her in a different venue, a different maybe. Surrounded by people. Like I think she could be.
People the same age, maybe people that aren't like 30 years past their prime, maybe.
It's not that not even the age. It's just the people, like they're just friends hanging out shooting a movie. Whereas they were just like, let's just put the camera on her. But she's like, dude, I'm gonna fucking go off and I'm gonna make my fucking name here. And then they're like, oh, we could help you by selling your jokes and doing this, but we're just gonna kind of do our old fat rich comedy guy thing and just kind of stand around.
We just want to sell our jokes when we decide to try and make So
yeah, in all honesty, man, I would love to see her in something where she had someone to play off of. If it was too like a buddy cop thing, or like a straight man just kind of halfway selling it, a female Tommy boy. I don't give a shit. Just let her have something where she can just do that. I mean, have a little bit more control on the ad-libbing, but just give her something really tight and funny. But you can bring this style of comedy maybe back and not just dump it on Netflix and just say, well, whatever.
Well, I mean, but here's my problem with this scene, because I other than that one joke with the guy, I did not find any of this funny. I didn't find, because it's a lot of montage, and most of it is just drinking. It's just like booze humor, where I don't find anyone who drinks like 17
where she's
things
dancing.
Of alcohol like hilarious. Like it doesn't make me laugh. Like, oh, she's holding so much of her liquor, it's hilarious. Oh, she's now smoking marijuana with the waiter staff, but she won't let them have a puff. And it's just like none of it.
It's real, like kind of like stoner party guy type of humor, and that's very 90s. That's very these guys, dude. For
so fucking long though. They went to her grinding on him like 5 times, I feel like, and then Nikki Nate comes over and she just starts grinding on him and chasing him away with the grinding, and I was just like, and everyone's just staring at her, just rubbing her dumper on David Spade. Who's just sitting there like
a million people.
The loaf of bread.
A million people would have been a better person for her to play off of. I think Jason Bateman would have probably been really good for her if he would have done his early Arrested Development type of responses, just to kind of give her that plateau. That's the biggest thing to me about this movie is I feel really bad for her because
it makes her look horrible. Like it honestly does. Like
character-wise, yes. Like performance-wise,
you're most likely not going to actually find her funny. Like that's the thing, Kevin. I didn't actually find her. She had funny moments, but for the most part, I found her to be truly fucking annoying because this was female cable guy. This is like how I live every day of my life, where I'm just like, why is this annoying person? Just like, why am I the only one that can see what is happening here and have to deal with it? Everyone else is like, no, they're fine, and just like carry on.
Well, yeah, it's not like a no, they're fine. It says no one's going to challenge it. But yeah, no, there's a pretty much a bevy of people that are supposed to be humorous, and they do. To me, it's just kind of they let her die every time. They don't support her. I don't even know where we're at. They do the montage. Okay, so he sells the montage. She's super
drunk. He's talking to the boss. Finally,
right?
They're playing pool. And then Nate comes in and he's just like, she's going to jump. And he's just like, oh, shit. Because at some point, I think it was on the airplane. I think we missed this part. She said, you saved my life. I was standing on a bridge when I got your message and I changed my mind and I didn't jump off the bridge. He thinks it's suicide. Of course, it's not. But we'll get to that plot point later. And so then he's like, oh shit, she's suicidal again. I gotta go save her. And then so she's like trying to be this like athlete type that he said that she, that the Nate guy sold her as. And so she's gonna do cliff diving off a cliff that doesn't go over the water. And I wish I laughed at this part, Kevin. I kind of looked away for a moment and I just saw the outcome where she has landed at the bottom of the cliff and is still alive. And so I rewound it and I was like, oh, this looks like it has potential to be funny. And then I watched it again and I was like, oh, I was wrong. Because it was like a fucking cartoon hitting 2 things and then she just survives at the bottom of this very long cliff.
It's the alcohol loosened her up.
Yeah, I guess. And the part that did make me laugh is Nate going, fuck, she's still alive? And I was just like, it's kind of how I feel too, Nate. It's kind of how I feel too.
Mm.
And then he carries her back to the bedroom. He puts her down. She's like, looks half dead. And this part kind of made me chuckle too. He's trying to sleep next to her and he takes one of the dog tranquilizers to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And wakes up and is seems to be having a dream where he's fucking his ex, and it turns out to be her. And she's like, "Are you face fucking me?" Where apparently it's you picture another person while you're fucking.
I've never heard that in my life.
No, I've never, because we use the term face fucking, but we use that as like you ate that, you face fucked that, like you.
Yeah, there's
you
like
put that entire thing in your mouth.
Usually it's food related for
yeah.
a precursor because Dustin's going off, but I know it. I know it like
the face fucking.
I know it that as a friendly way, but then there's also the Pornhub way where you take your junk and you slam it and slam it and slam it, and like you're just pounding a hole. In any hole you want, but usually it's the face. That's what I've always known it as.
Well, if it's not the face, it's not face fucking, is it?
No, yeah, thank you, scientist.
Yeah, so I think it was just her fuck you. Her ad lib way of saying face fucking. She was like, it's when you picture someone else's face. Like trying to like, I don't know, change the definition
I
of
don't
face
think so.
fucking for like youth of America that are watching Netflix and be like, that's what face. I'm going to use face fucking at the dinner.
I can tell you the youth of America is not
appropriate.
watching this. They don't know anybody in it. Yeah,
Number
let me
10.
watch these 60-year-old comedians from a show that no one fucking likes do a comedy.
Someone is, Kevin.
Not the youth of America, dude.
First Adam Sandler movie on Netflix I've watched, and I feel horrible.
No, dude, you watched the Cowboys and Indian ones.
No, I didn't.
Discovered baseball.
No. Oh, is that what happened in that one? I watched like the first 10 minutes with you, and then I was just like, I'm leaving. And I left. I do not know how that movie ended or continued. I just know that it should have never been made, probably.
I think one of them's the dad or something. I don't remember.
None of that makes. I know you've watched all of them. You have some weird, sick obsession with seeing how bad they are.
I don't remember.
You watched The Do-Over. I know that.
Which one's The Do-Over?
Where he's like a CIA spy and goes back
no. Yeah, that was awful, but there was one super funny part on the beginning. And the rest, it was just kind of like, you got the one joke in there. Good job, guys.
And then what are the other ones? Oh, yeah. The Father of the Year. No, you didn't watch that. Sandy Wexler. I think he actually does a tribute. I think that's him playing a tribute to his agent that died or something. I don't know.
I saw that one. It was for whatever.
I mean, Blended.
It was toned down. The Blended has a great song at the end of the credits. But that's the biggest takeaway I remember for that.
Great song at the end of the credits.
Yeah, whoever chose that, I was like, bravo. I love this.
Oh, that's a good song. I like what I'm hearing. Yeah, so he wakes up, they fuck, and then she is wearing, the don't die in your sleep mask for when you sleep. I forget what it's fucking called. The Darth Vader mask, basically, for sleep apnea. There we go. I think sleep apnea. So he sneaks away. Yeah, I know. It was a bad. It was like one person was probably, oh, yeah, the fucking sleep apnea thing. And then I said it, and then everyone else was like, oh, he's an idiot. He sneaks away. God, I'll be honest, I don't. Oh, for the boat trip. They're going out to see sharks. And so he's trying not to bring.
They want to do the shark cage thing. His ex-wife or his ex-fiance is on there. The whole cast of characters. They go to take off. She's like, not without me. You see Rob Schneider, of course.
Has a weird fucking hand.
Shark McShark has bitten off all of his fingers except for his thumb and his pinky.
So
I know the thumb is not a finger, so you can hit him with the little shaka bra. And
but it's very obviously just like they put makeup shit over his fingers, like it's just a giant nub. But I was just like, Jesus, and why even bother if it looks that bad? Like, why did you keep showing me
it's part of the joke.
Close up.
I think you might be grilling this movie a little too hard for its realism when it's just a real big, huge 90-minute
Rob
joke.
Schneider doesn't really do that. Like, he starts off with kind of an accent, and then it just fades away every time he reappears in the movie for some reason.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the boat takes off, and she comes running, and David Spade's character, Tim, is just like, go, 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 go. She jumps for the boat and doesn't come up for air, and he just kind of motions to Rob Snyder to be quiet. Like he gives him the finger over the lips. And this part did make me laugh, Kevin, when Rob Schneider does the pinky with his nub hand. I was just like, all right.
It's really?
You got it. I don't know why. Hey, man, don't fucking judge me, okay?
I get it. Everyone's going to laugh at random stuff in this.
It just, for some reason, the fact that he used his nub hand and just so convincing, was like, oh, yeah, shh. You know, just, I don't know. It worked on me. Of course, she shows up because she, is the Terminator. And, they're out looking for sharks. The boss is real pissed because they haven't seen any sharks. You'd think they'd know where the sharks are for a shark tour, or at least a general proximity, or at least stop sending people down if there's no fucking sharks. I don't know. Until it is David Spade's turn. He's trying to weasel out of it, and she's trying to push him into it, and so he does it. His ex comes up to him and is like, hey, are you sure? Because you have, like, claustrophobia. And she just shows, like, hey, I fucking know you, and I know you don't want to do this. And you're just like, what are you doing, movie? What are you doing? Like, what relationship am I rooting for? Like Kevin said, there's 3 women involved with this guy. Which one am I fucking rooting for? Because I don't know. I don't know. He goes down the water. She cuts up some chum. Rob Schneider tries to stop her. Did this part make you laugh, Kevin? When she?
No, dude. Like you're at. They go. The boss is like, someone's got to get in there with me. Tim's scared for his job, so he's like, I'm going to do it. I don't want fucking Barracuda to get the edge on me. So they go in there, and there's no sharks. And he's like, this is fucking whack. And then so Tim starts freaking out, and then Missy's just like, you know what? We're gonna get some sharks to show up. She's trying to help Tim in her crazy,
she is, in her own way. Yeah,
in her own way. There's no chumming allowed, so she goes and cuts it up, and she goes to dump it on there, and then Schneider's fighting with her. He's like, no, there's no chumming. There's no chumming. It flies on Missy. She starts throwing up. She throws up in the water. Tim's freaking out. Sharks are showing up. He kicks his boss in the face. That kind of made me laugh.
That did make me laugh. Yeah.
The
shark gets in the cage.
That shark tears that cage apart.
The boss is fine. Tim gets pulled out just fine. Rob Schneider beats a very CG shark with his nub hand. This is after he made some weird joke. He's like, if you see the shark that took my fingers, tell him I said aloha. Yeah. And it was just like, what? What a missed opportunity to say just anything other than that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he's gonna do the whole opposite of revenge. Yeah. Tell him, good game, whatever.
Good game. You won these 3 fingers, shark. So they pull the boss out. The boss isn't breathing. She's like, I know, I'm certified in CPR, of course. She resuscitates the boss. And then Rob Schneider lays down, feet up in the air. And he says, do me next. And he says, really, any beautiful woman, do me. And this is how they end the scene. Just him saying, do me.
For about 13 minutes.
Do me. Just over and over. Feet up in the air.
And that's what I just pictured them cutting this movie. And they're just going, oh, man, look at Rob. He goes for like 30 minutes. Let's use 29 of it.
Use 29.59 of it,
Just another...
Not quite 30, because we don't want him to get a big head. It's big enough. Have you been on Twitter? It's big enough.
Yeah. Did you see that show he had about his wife and him? It sucked. You didn't laugh one time?
Didn't laugh one time. Didn't know what was fake or real. It was all fake. And then so... God, I'm trying to remember after this.
Tim tries to chew her out. She's like, I was just trying to help you, basically.
Yeah.
It's just another episode or another example of them cutting down Missy as a character, just no selling her, just shitting on her, basically.
Yeah, and then he has to do she's talking to the neighbor at this point, I believe. And he's like, who the fuck are you talking to? She's like, oh, Barbara, And he's like, all right, I have to go do this work thing. You can't, like, fuck it up. It's for my job. Just stay here. She's like, oh, I'm going to go to the spa with Barbara. And he's like, that's a great idea. Go to the spa. Blah, 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 blah. So he's, I don't know. They're in, like, he's in a, like, black spandex suit. It doesn't fit him.
basically there's a talent show coming up. He has a part of his work team.
Talent show.
Yeah, he has part of his team, and there's another Barracuda has her team, because this is another subplot that you've totally forgotten about, because it doesn't really need to be here, because this whole three-way romance would probably carry the movie enough. But we need to get the boss in here. Just having
a work bonding retreat would have been enough. Like, job competition, they're competing for a position. They have to do a talent. Like, who's doing a talent show in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Like, what do they expect their talents to be? I'll tell you, they suck. Both of them. Both talents suck tremendously.
My favorite. You might as well just fast forward to there.
No, we can't just fast forward to there, because we'll miss an entire extra subplot that's important for the next 2 fucking scenes of the fucking movie, Kevin.
So Tim says, "Hey, great practice, everybody." Barracuda shows up, kind of like, "Suck it, we're gonna beat you. We're gonna beat you." And then
no, she doesn't show up there. She doesn't show up at that part.
It's the dude. Nate
shows up and is just like, dude, he's
ally.
Like, he tells me, oh yeah, she's like with some old woman named Barbara at the spa, and he's like,
oh yeah,
fucking, that's the boss's wife. You need to get her the fuck away from her. He runs to try to find her in the spa. That's when Nate deviates to the Barracuda, who's doing yoga with a bunch of beautiful women.
Right.
He gets to the spa, finds out, they're no longer there, but that something went down.
Back to the hotel.
With Barbara. So he goes back to the hotel, finds her. He's like, I need to know everything that happened. And she's like, oh, I just convinced Barbara to, stand up to her husband and leave him.
That's
more
boss.
more jokes about being certified and this, that, or the other. And so the boss is pissed. He's like, you got to help me fix this. So she goes to the pool. Oh, and she's done some Helgar the Witch thing, which I never found funny. She's done that a couple times, and that, like, she's sitting there trying to, like, and you're like, oh, okay, they're going to, like, do something different here. So she's, like, talking to the boss, and then she just falls into the water and comes back up as this Helgar thing where she puts shit over her eyes and, like, uses her hair as a mustache. And I was like,
yeah, I'll say that time, that didn't fit at all.
It didn't fit at all, because I was like, why would he say 2 more words to her ever?
You know what I really thought? I thought that this part, I was like, oh man, I thought she was going to actually have a moment where she's calm, and she kind of just does some good acting. That's what I really thought was going to happen. I was like, dude, she's gonna just lay it on. She's going to make him see his error of his ways.
Because it's inevitable for her character. And we get there finally after so much more shit that we're going to go through. We get there finally, because that's the thing with this character. You have to root for her at some point.
Right.
She has to make some sort of switch over and become less on. Otherwise, you're never going to. Well, and I think they, A, wait too long, and B, it still doesn't matter.
Because here's the thing,
it doesn't fit her.
So ideally, they're opposites attract, right? That's kind of what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. So if he's a bit of a fucking lump and she's 100% energy, they're supposed to kind of meet in the middle. He gets a little bit from her where he gets kind of frisky. He's like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to whip my dick out. And she's like, whoa, let's baby steps. And then she gets a little bit more grounded. You know what I mean? And then they kind of just meet in the middle, and boom, look, dude, we did a love story.
We've done this love story a billion fucking times.
Exactly.
And that's how it fucking goes. You have to have the give and take.
You kind of would think that the time she's like, all right, I'm going to do this for him because you know what? He's kind of done this for me. He pulled me off the ledge. But then everything's a joke, so you got to be like careful. But this movie has no restraints. So you could have had that part where she's just like, hey, Tim was there. He was there for me. And that will kind of solidify their relationship even more, where they're not so... She's not just a wild Tasmanian devil destroying everything and he's got to kind of rein her back in. He would have been like, oh shit, she did that for me. She was like out of character for about a second. And there is a calm part of her. And she's like, yeah, man, I've been hanging around your dry pussy ass too much. And then she could have got her juice back off of that. And he would have been like, fuck, I knew it. Exactly. But they don't do that. They just let her stay at 100.
They're like, do the Hagar witch thing. It made us laugh.
Or
off camera, or something. I don't know, something. And it's just so fucking bad. So they end up like kicking the guy. She eventually just like gets him to relent, and the boss that is relent and go with her to talk it out with the wife and get back together. Jared Sandler is bringing him drinks.
I don't know why you brought him.
I'm bringing it up because they made sure I fucking knew this guy was there 3 fucking times, that he was dressed in a suit, and I just didn't get. I was like, when was it ever established that he just brings drinks? I don't understand it. He just keeps doing that.
Well,
and I guess that's the joke, but
here's a coffee. He's like, I don't want a fucking coffee. And he slaps it out of his hands.
He's like, I didn't. Yeah, that was good.
I almost laughed. The second time
he brought him coffee. The first time he's like, here's your coffee. He's like, I didn't ask for a coffee. Why did you bring me a coffee?
Should I drink it?
And yeah, he's like, should I drink it? And he's like, I don't give a fuck. And then he just sips it like, yay me. I'm like, why? Why? Are you trying to kiss up to him?
The thing was,
there's nothing to establish this joke as like a victory for you to drink the drink that you wanted, that you got for yourself. Just get yourself a fucking drink, apparently, because no one gives a fuck.
Bro, you're going too hard on the drink. It's not even that. I don't know what he was fucking there for. Is he his son? Is he his like servant, secretary? Does he have a job there? He was just a dude. Not one time. Not one time did they ever go, hey, this is our secretary, Jared. He's kind of weird, but don't worry, he'll get you any drink. Nothing. They gave him nothing except for this weird drink thing that he did 3 times.
They were just trying to do like the classic, their 90s, early 2000s, like here's the weird new friend character we're introducing. They're just doing weird things in the background, but it just didn't work at all in this movie because no one's selling anyone else's jokes. Everyone's selling fucking everything.
It's true.
Everyone.
That's true. Everyone's just like, is your joke done yet? Because I just looked at the ground for 10 seconds while you did it, and we're on to the next.
I was bored and it wasn't funny. Well, guess what? Now the audience already felt that too, but now they're feeling it more because they're like, well, that character also feels this way.
Am I supposed to like him?
Yeah. So, and then I think this is the part where it gets to the. Is it this part where they get to the talent show after she? Yes. Yeah. Because now they're ready for the talent show. She spent all night with him. He's just like, what did you do or whatever. So they do the talent show. I think there's some minor scene I'm forgetting, but whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Oh, I think he's like starting to connect with the right Melissa.
No, they do the. This is before they do the sex thing.
I thought, did they do the sex thing? I thought they did the sex thing after the talent show.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure
it doesn't really matter. It doesn't change the fucking progression of the story. It's just a bunch of things that happen.
They do the talent show. She informs him that she has hypnotized. She's also, I guess, a licensed hypnotist or a certified hypnotist or something. And so she has hypnotized the boss to not only know his name, but think of his grandma whenever his name is said, so he feels love and warmth.
I think this is after the other scene because there's another big scene that happens after that to use that, and then we finally squeeze out of that third act or second act.
So do they do the date thing?
I say they,
yeah, they do. I guess they do the date thing.
They do the date thing. You see the ex-fiance or whatever just longing for him while Missy and Tim are bonding, and he's kind of warming up to her. He's kind of like falling for her. He tells fucking HR, but who cares? And so they end up doing the talent show. It's just get him. Oh no, they don't. They don't do the talent show yet.
No,
they do that. Because he's like,
the talent show. No, I'm pretty sure the talent show comes first because there's still the beach party.
That's the last thing they do.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, that's the last thing they do, and in between that is they do the beach. They do the beach party, and he has all the sand on him, and then he goes to leave, and then you get the change of everything. But before that, he wants to party with her, get drunk and high, and have sex and shit. And they try to get weed. Yeah. No. It totally goes talent show first because talent show, and then he's like, "Hey, you did something for me," and so then they go out on the real date, and then the sex thing.
Okay.
So yeah, so at the talent show,
That's true, because then he asked her, he's like, how do you learn all these things? She's like, I was alone as a kid all the time, so I just kind of entertained myself by learning all kinds of shit.
Yeah. So at the talent show, he does some weird.
It's just shadow dancing.
Shadow dancing.
It's shadow dancing where they make shapes and stuff behind the curtain, so it looks like houses and other objects and stuff like that.
And there's a lot of like things coming out of butts, jokes like that.
Yeah, it's really what you expect, kind of humor.
Yeah.
And then Jess Shepard, she does her thing. It's basically this dance fucking recital, fucking New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block.
Do you remember this joke?
Yeah. She cannot sing.
She's hot in it.
She cannot dance. And then the boss has been hypnotized, or every time he hears her name, he basically pukes.
He just dry heaves. And then every time he hears Tim's, he's like, "Oh, you remind me of my grandmother. So warm."
Well, he yells, "I love this. I love that guy."
Yeah, constantly.
So, and so he wins the talent show, I guess. I don't fucking know.
He wins the talent show. It benefits Tim only, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, if I was on his team, I'm like, what do I gain from this? Like, are you actually going to keep me? Who gets to say? So we're merging companies, and like one team just completely dissolve. Like, why wouldn't we just take the best of both teams? Like, who has? I think
they're all in the same team.
Like, exactly. So why are they split to help different people? I don't fucking understand it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not a real job, and we're never even told what they do. Yeah, and so then they go on a date, and that's when they have the heartfelt moment. The right Melissa messages him, and he just kind of is like, whatever. The ex does pine for him, and then goes to get weed, I guess, for them, and then she shows up, and then
guess who has weed? HR.
HR has weed, but not like.
It's all the big weed infused stuff, like the weed lotion, the toothpaste. So that's the big joke. There's weed condoms, and then fucking Rob Schneider's there for some reason because he's craft services. I don't know.
Out with Rob Schneider. I was just like, why, movie? Why? It didn't make me. I'm laughing because of how much I was just like, fucking what?
And it's just a bunch of pube jokes, and
he has weed.
David Spade wants to see his dick, and he leaves. He wants to see David Spade's dick, and David leaves. Pretty sure it's all ad-libbed. Wasn't funny.
Oh, no, it had to be 100% ad-libbed because it made zero sense to anything going on, like, at all. And so he goes back. He discovers that
Zach showed up.
Zex is there. They're intoxicated. And Missy is saying, you two need to have breakup sex to see if there's anything there. And he's just like, well, I'd feel weird with you like standing out in the hallway while we have sex. And she's like, oh no, I'm going to be a part of it too.
Yeah.
And then just like, there's a lot of physical comedy in this movie. None of it really made me laugh. So they kick her off the bed. Sarah.
Let me see. Did any of the physical comedy make me laugh? Yes. There's physical comedy that happened.
The boss that got kicked in the nose, that was physical comedy.
I guess, yeah, that made me chuckle. Just because it looks so good the way he did it. There's no physical comedy that makes me laugh.
Yeah. And so she keeps getting like hardcore kicked in the face off of the bed.
It's almost like it's just she takes a bunch of bumps, and they end up just kind of staying with each other, Missy and Tim. So she's kind of excuses herself out, and their love is true because he would have been all over her. Well, he would have been all over her. The point is he would have been over his ex, all over her if he had the opportunity, but he chose to stick with Missy, and so now you see where he's really into her, and he's not only thought it, now he is showing it.
Yeah. And so this brings us to the next day. They're at another company thing.
It's supposed to be this challenge on the beach, and he's kind of talking to Missy, and he's like, hey, you know what? I kind of had fun last night. I mean, it's crazy. He's just kind of starting to vocalize how he feels about her. He shows up at the beach. The boss has this kiddie party thing going on. She's like, yeah, as part of him being hypnotized, I told him to embrace his inner child and kind of whatever adult authority, just let it all go out the window. So it's just like seen by the.
Yeah, he finds the swoosh guy in timeout. He talks to him. He's just like, "Hey, you fucking put me at timeout." And then he's just like, "Okay." He's like, "Oh, I gotta turn around. I got like 10 more minutes." And that part made me chuckle because he was like, "I got 10 more minutes," and he just turned around like he's just facing a fucking tree in a little kid's chair on a beach.
Yeah,
and it's just.
The giraffe guy gives him his fucking costume to wear, and he's like, "You're a mermaid. The boss wants to talk to you. He's a mermaid." Yeah, he's like, "We're mermaids. Talk to him do your interview."
Yeah, so the Barracuda goes first.
That's just this sucks so bad. It made my head hurt. Like, she does the underwater interview. It's not funny.
He's like, "We're mermaids. We have to talk underwater," and she's like, "I don't think that'll work." And then it doesn't.
It's pretty cringy. And the whole thing here, to me, and I know you're not big on it, but I was just like, man, if this chick, Missy's not trying to be funny, no one else knows how to be funny either.
No.
What the fuck?
Well, yeah, for sure.
What the fuck, movie?
The absence of their humor didn't make her humorous to me, though, is the problem. Like,
no, dude, the thing is you have one person as a character. Like I said, she's doing 100% of the work.
Yes. And that's the problem. She's doing 100% of the work. Everyone else is no-selling everything other than Calvin Sr. Calvin Sr. fucking sells everything. And I loved him.
He was great. Like, if it was a movie with her and him, I'd probably have been like, yeah, this is totally better
He's the
than
dad. She's the daughter. I'm fucking there. I am
fuck, dude. I will write that right now. I love
know
that
it writes
combo.
itself. It's amazing.
She's like, "I'm back from college, old man. What the fuck's up?" He's like, "Wow, rude." Is that what they're teaching at these ivory schools? I go to community college, asshole.
Didn't fucking retire with full pension for you to come home and fucking talk to me that way. Okay? Just, Jesus, fuck, I need a minute. He's just out drinking a mimosa and then
if your dead mother can hear you now, he just rubbing this weird statue to her. He's like, "Is that mom? Is that mom
like,
dead?"
It's so oily on the boobs. He's like, "Don't talk about your mother's tits that way."
We will worship her at sundown, per usual.
Per usual. Wear your gowns. The red one.
She just grabbing her crotch the whole time. "You've been in this house too long, old man." He just spits on the floor. That's it.
This isn't a fucking Cracker Barrel. You can't just spit on the goddamn floor. It's the Roadhouse you're thinking of. Whatever. I spit where I want.
I love ribeye. It's the fattiest of the steaks, but I love it.
The fattest of the steaks. It's so goddamn chewy. Gets in your teeth every time.
Ah, dude, I'd watch that shit. I'd write it, watch it.
Like, their chemistry was instant and amazing.
You know what I would do? I would take the blonde chick from Workaholics and throw her in there too, just as a friend.
You have not seen her recent body of work. I don't think you would.
No, dude. I'd be like, "Listen, you're doing the Workaholics character. You're gonna."
I don't do that anymore.
Listen, actress. No, fuck that. You're not. Do the Workaholics bit, or you don't get the job.
Haven't any of you Workaholics people learned? Just do the Workaholics thing in a different setting. You'll be fine. You'll be
They're like,
we
fine. Did. It was that movie. I was like, that movie sucked.
I mean, other than that Netflix movie, Game Over, man. Other than that, when you go out to the other things, fucking do the.
They're like, what?
Do yourself, goddammit. Anyway, so they're at the party. So it's Tim's turn. There's some.
Dude, I'm serious. I'm going to write this movie, dude.
I know. I would love it.
I'm thinking about it right now. I was like, what happens? The dad retires? The mom's dead? That she goes off to college? We find out it's community college? LOL. That's funny. Because you think she's been gone. She comes back.
I would make this a TV show. Okay. That's like episode 5. You find out it was community college. He was
dude,
where the fuck have you been all this time? She's like, living in my car, old man, chasing fucking dreams. And he's just
it just cuts
he's
to
like,
the community
that's what
college.
happened to my Nova. She's like, yeah,
just doing
it's my Nova now.
She's just doing donuts in the parking lot, just throwing rocks at kids.
She's like, yeah, it took me a year to find where the community college was. Elementary school looks the same. I don't know.
I do a movie, man. Netflix they're pining for something.
Seriously, they're just like, we're listening. Keep going. We're just not going to pay you now.
I hear you.
Like, why do you play Calvin Sr.?
Oh, they want
that. He's one of the Happy Madison guys. Oh, God damn it. We're not doing Jack and Jill 2. Never mind.
Just skip to 3. That's funny. It's funny when they skip sequels.
I mean, that might work. People would probably be like, what happened to the second one? Who knows?
Parallel universe never was made. Or was it? Science.
So Spade does his interview where the guy is just like, she is better at everything, but you remind me of my Nana and you make me feel safe. Will you let me eat lots of chocolate and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, he does a good job working with the bullshit they gave him. Like, it was just like,
I almost chuckled when he was like, can I have another cookie, Nana, or something? And he was like, yeah.
Like it worked just because he's not a hack, you know?
He's good. Yeah, he is a good actor.
He cared in every scene he was in.
Agreed.
Because he was just playing the character he plays a lot. But it was fine. It worked. And then the Barracuda spoils the show finally and reveals, she's like, you're awfully chipper for someone who's not even supposed to be here. And that's it. That's it. That's the only mean-ish line. And even then, it's just like, okay.
It's like, a real throwaway line to raise her suspicion, but yeah, she falls for it. And he's like, oh, they're back to the hotel. He's like, you know what? Let's get out of I'll get all this sand off me and we can hang out. And he throws his phone down unlocked. Who
well, I think everyone knows his password, so it's just like whatever.
And so she goes through it and she sees the text messages of her, or basically of him shooting down the other, or telling the other Missy that it's the wrong Missy, and she's like, oh no. And you're like, oh, okay. But he loves her now, or he likes her, and he's over the beauty pageant Missy. What? But the beauty pageant Missy shows up because Jess has told her to come on down. I'm going to pay for your trip. What the fuck?
Yeah. Why? Because it still seems like it would help him significantly. Why?
Because they're looking for the beauty pageant connection. And the boss really was never like, why are you hanging around this gross chick? She's just so loud and obnoxious. They never worked that angle where the boss doesn't like her, so she has to win the boss over.
And they dropped the whole beauty pageant angle from his point instantly.
They only bring it up once in the very beginning of the conversation, and it's only his ex-wife, and she used to fuck Evander Holyfield. Ha ha ha! I'm dying.
That joke.
I was like, what the fuck?
Who knows who Evander Holyfield is anymore?
Yeah.
Is it his kid boxing now? Like, the fuck?
Sega Genesis, real deal boxing with Evander Holyfield.
Yeah.
Seriously. Genesis does. Can't do that on Nintendo. Genesis does. So yeah, like it kind of blew my mind. So I was like, okay, we're supposed to believe you lost to him in the interview, so he's got the job when he pointed to him. She's on a, I don't know, 5-hour, 6-hour flight from Portland to Hawaii or wherever she comes from. The main characters come from the Portland area.
So like, help him out.
And then she shows up and he's just like, what are you doing here? My other Missy just ran by. And like, this part kind of upset me because he could have been like, no, I'm sorry. I'm happy you're here, but I got someone I need to talk to. I got something I have to find out. I got someone I need to catch and tell them I care about them. And then it shows
anything other than what he did, because none of it made sense. It was just all convenient to like.
He just stops and goes, "Oh, you're here. That's great." Looks past her, sees the other Missy, the main Missy. And then it could have been a moment where she's brokenhearted, but then she pulls out the fucking knife again and does the cut her throat. Like, I'm going to kill you, bitch. And I'm like, oh my God, that could have been like, if she would have just been a little bit
instantly
brokenhearted.
Made her unlikable again to me. I was just like, okay.
It didn't make her unlikable to me. It made me just not feel any compassion. Like, everything's a joke. Everything's played as a joke. None of this matters. Why should I care?
Like, and I don't get David Spade's character, because he just goes with whatever. Like, that's what he does the whole movie. He just goes with whatever anyone else says to do.
Exactly.
But not in a way where I feel sympathy for him. He's just like, okay, I guess he's
just a tool now. He's just a fucking lump.
But it's not. But then we'd have those moments where he'd be like, what the fuck are you doing here and stuff, and he'd break that character. I was just like, I don't know, man.
Well, that's what I was waiting for. Like, especially after the promotion. He's like, we're gonna go out and celebrate and stuff. And then I was like, man, maybe he's just gonna open up to her and be like, hey, like maybe if you would have gave me like something where, hey, I was really brokenhearted, I'm trying to shake it off. And she's like, my energy is going to help you shake it off. You're going to come out of your shell. And he's like, you know what? You're kind of on 11. I need baby steps. And then they grow together. They even out. Great.
Yeah.
I love it.
He nice doesn't try to talk to her at all. And she never stops talking in a like haha funny manner for them to connect. Other than that really, and I mean so very brief time when they're eating at a picnic bench.
Well, yeah, but she calls him like a fucking spaghetti dick, and he starts laughing. Yeah. He's like, it's, you know, for my size and my weight. And she's like, yeah, you got a real little dick. And then it's kind of like they're kind of bonding, but then they kind of turn over to like, there's no moments. That's the one moment you get, and it needed another one just so he can proclaim to her like, hey, you know what? I do kind of care about her. She's brought me out of my shell.
You're supposed to build on those moments.
Exactly.
You know, so that we understand why he's coming out of his shell. Instead, he's just like, I'm fucking out of my shell, everybody. And you're like, I don't even care. Get back.
No, it's not even really that. It's like you said, everyone tells him what to do. The beauty pageant Missy shows up. She's like, oh, you want to treat a starving girl to some lunch? And he just does. Yeah. So he goes with her. And then he's all like poopy pants. And she's like, oh, I didn't know you drank. And he's like, I am today because you know what?
I thought you didn't drink. And he's like, oh, I don't even want to do this one. Oh, and I'm just like, really? Because you're pounding down these shots of tequila like, I guess, David Spade. I don't know.
Well, he just basically, there's no character for him, right? And so you're like, I don't know, is he out of character now? He just seems mopey. And then he does like he kind of relives
one backstory we have about him that he's told someone else about.
He's reliving a moment that he kind of shared with the original Missy. So you're kind of like, is this a harken back? Is this something that he longs for? And then, oh no, it's just like he doesn't drink because everyone has that one story of the reason they don't drink. So he does his hand walk, and then he just flies off the side of the balcony of the restaurant, and he hits his head. He breaks his ankle again. And this is the only part that made me laugh twice really hard. He put the fucking dude with the crazy hair comes out of
no, that's Cal Senior. That's Cal. Yeah, he's like, she's gone, and he's like, she's fucking gone. I was supposed to be on her plane.
Dude, I cried. I was like, thank you, movie, for this one joke. Thank you for doing it twice. You may fuck off.
3 times. 3 times a lady. They do that. I mean, the third time it doesn't work, but the second time, yeah. I was supposed to be on her plane. I was like, thank you, Cal Senior. I don't know where you came from, but you have been the best part of this movie.
He's the best part, dude. Like,
I would like you to play her father in this comedy that we're pitching.
God, dude, I'm gonna literally
on your other
they've gotta live here. I'm gonna drive to their house and be like, hey, I know there's a lot going on, but I really need you to read this.
She's like, how did you get here?
Don't ask questions, because then I gotta
you need to check your temperature. I don't want to die.
I gotta say a bunch of stuff that's gonna incriminate me, so I don't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do that scene, and then just really fast, the beauty pageant, he's like, can you reset my foot or do this and that? He's like, no, I can't. He's like, I need someone that can. So you're like,
exactly.
Yeah, whatever. I was like, fuck you, movie.
No, because it's just so stupid. I was like, of all the things he says, he's like, exactly. Like he's just telling the audience, exactly, audience. That's why I'm picking the other Missy.
And it's like, what does that even mean? Because, like, okay, so you're able to get over your ex. You were able to pass up this drop dead gorgeous woman that's just perfect for you, right? But you chose the wild card. So everyone's supposed to be like, yeah, because she's the nice, funny girl. But it's like, dude, you treated her like shit. You pushed her to the side. You were embarrassed of her. You tried to hold her back. She just wanted to, like, have fun with you and stuff. You just shit on her every turn you get. But now, you know what? She kind of helped you get that promotion. And there was no part,
manipulation, but
yeah. However, she got there. She went on a limb for you. She came through for you. All these good things. Where was your HR buddy? Nope. He just kind of set you up to get your balls kicked, and that was it. There was really no one as his advocate there except for her. And you treated her like
sad because I still, especially. I mean, I think it's just the rough introduction of her drinking the fuck out of that party and just being. I was like, you're so unlikable right now.
Because
I could never get behind her.
They wanted you. They wanted you to feel about her how he's feeling about her by doing all that, right? Because he doesn't have any other opinions or he can't really express anything else. You're like, well, dude, you should be like, hey, calm down. You're going to blow my job. If I look like a crazy man right now in front of my boss, he's just like embarrassed of her. Like he's been with her forever. This is just how she gets down, guys.
Yeah, no, totally. It's like, he's just like, okay. Because again, his character just goes with whatever.
Goes with whatever, man. That's why he lets his HR buddy put him in bad scenarios, and it's just a whole handful of things. He never steps up to Jess. He never puts her in her place. She just kind of.
I mean, to be fair, she doesn't really need it either. Like she seems, even when she's mean, she's nice. So it's just like whatever, you know.
It's not even that, but fuck you, subplot. Don't put that out there and have my character just shake it off. You know.
I mean, fuck every subplot, which has many for some fucking reason. All of them are pointless and suck.
He never stands up to his boss. He never stands up to his buddy HR. He's like, dude, back off, man. I care about this chick, and you're always getting me in bad decisions. So whatever you say I should do, I should probably do the fucking opposite. Nothing. He should have said something like that. He should have went to his ex-wife. He's like, you know what? Or his ex-fiance, you had your chance. Fuck you. I'm hanging out.
You deal with swoosh guy who's putting a jacuzzi in the fucking garage for some reason.
Exactly. Like I was like, what is this guy's?
I was like, why would you put it in the garage? It's a jacuzzi. They are not made to go in garages. Why would you put it in the garage?
He's like, 'cause I'm wacky. It's the 90s.
Sucked. Yeah. I mean, he had a very 90s like look to him. Yeah, I feel like he was like replacing the other guy that used to be in all their shit that is no longer like hanging out with him, I guess. But I don't know.
But I don't know. That was my problem with everything. Like pretty much just to fucking put this shit to bed. He heads back. He's texting her left and right. She's not responding. She's giving him shitty texts. He's like, leave me the fuck alone. Stop texting me. We throw the Grubhub joke in there one more time. That fucking bombs. Like, it's just a bunch of stinkers all at the very end, right?
Yeah, if I see, like, mopey, lonely David Spade sitting in, like, an overfluffed bed one more time in my life, thanks to this fucking movie, I might just break into his house and kill him like that one guy tried to. I mean, not really, but that did happen to him.
How many more times is that possibly going to happen?
You know, he was just like, why? Why is every bed so fluffy when he's in it? Like, he looks like a small boy in a giant bed.
Yeah, he looks like an old boy. Like, yeah, it's like, hi, son, how old are you? 86. Like, what the fuck?
His next role should just be old boy. Like, and that's it. The whole movie, it's just like Jack again, but everyone's just like, you're just an old boy. And he's just like, ah, and just runs away crying.
That's his response.
Yeah, they just throw rocks at him. He's just like, just leave me alone. I'm an old boy.
It just cuts to the doctor's. Well, he seems to be young and fit, but on the outside, he seems to be an old man.
Wait, I'm reading the wrong chart. No, he is just an old man that looks like a boy.
But
it's an old boy.
Coming this summer, old man boy.
Old man boy. Starring David Spade.
Everybody's like, old boy? Is this that Korean joint? Nah, man, this is fucking David Spade being weird. He's topless in like 80% of this movie and bottomless on the other one. You're just like, what?
It's just
old
Dickie
man
Roberts meets Joe Dirt. Sure, why not? I don't know. Did those movies do well for you? I don't fucking
With a touch of Goodfellas.
With a touch of Goodfellas. Yeah, so he catfishes her on a date, pretending to be someone else, I guess.
It's the same joke. We book in this piece of shit with two pieces of shit jokes.
And then it turns out the guy that he said he was is Vanilla Ice.
It's Ice Ice Baby.
And they make the Ice Ice Baby joke. Like,
well, I will admit,
just nonstop. They Rob Schneider it. They go for 30 minutes going Ice Ice Baby, Ice Ice Baby, Ice Ice Baby, Ice Ice Baby, Ice Ice Baby.
I will say I think Vanilla Ice just kind of shows up and has fun, and I don't mind that. I just go, this guy's just having a laugh. Is he still doing the landscaping? I don't know.
Like, see him. He's just like, oh, thank God, another paycheck.
Yeah, he's just no. I think he's got a really successful land company in Florida or something, landscaping.
I mean, good for him. It's way better than having to do those VH1 shows because you're really, really fucking broke.
Yeah, I think VH1 just runs Basketball Wives all the time now.
It's probably for the best. He convinces her to I guess, talk to him or something. Vanilla Ice insults David Spade's penis a lot.
As he should.
Yeah.
Well, she was like, I thought we were going to have he was like, well, me and Ice Baby can over there. We can all have a three-way. He's like, don't even think about it, pickle dick. He's like, oh, man. And here's the part where I was just like, what? What the fuck?
Like, how did we get here?
No, not even that, dude.
Connection?
So he's supposed to have the heartfelt conversation with her in the other part of the movie, and then like towards the end of the third act, then maybe she decides, and then she ends up saying yes, and you're kind of like, yeah, they did it. But he says it really poorly at the last 2 seconds of this movie, and she's just kind of like, yeah, I guess. And then they kiss, and then they play the romantic music as they kiss in the music bed, and then it pulls out, and then there's no music because you're watching a movie, and now the movie lets you know you're watching a movie. So fuck you for watching this movie, you fucking idiot viewer. Ha ha.
Yeah, it cuts the sound. Laughing? It just shows the rest, like that they're just weirdos standing in a restaurant making out, and everyone else is just like eating dinner.
The romantic.
I'm glad you said something because I fucking absolutely hated it. It made me hate the movie even more. Dude.
It made me hate
because I was just like, why did you do this?
It's not the tone or the style of their comedy, but they just wanted to be like, hey man, we're going to pull out and let you know that this romantic moment that kind of you hear music, you get the fucking gushies in your pants and your tum fucking does backflips. That's all bullshit. And don't forget to enjoy the other 29 movies on Netflix that we got.
Yeah, it didn't make any, because it's like, it's not like they're the first to do that joke, but then when you do that joke, you have to have something else like break them out of like, hey, can you guys knock that off or something? Like, we're trying to serve food here or something, and they're like, oh, sorry, anything like that's like the most low hanging fruit one I can give you, but like,
you know what you should have done
that joke.
To keep with your shitty jokes, you should have had the Grubhub guy go, "Here, I'm here for a pickup for this fucker." Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Like,
and I would have been like,
like that would have made the Grubhub joke work because it's like, I got that just in case you still told me to fuck off, you know?
Yeah, like,
and then you're just like, but why did he go to the restaurant where the Grubhub guy? Like, he's like,
it wouldn't even matter.
It's not from this restaurant. I had him Grubhub me something from my favorite place.
Or just have the Grubhub guy talk for 30 minutes, and he'd just be like, hey man, I'm here to pick up the order for this fucker. Yeah, I can't go to the good one because they banned me because this fucker keeps fucking ruining the goddamn movie on the Netflix for me, and they make me pick it up all the time. Oh man, and they just zoom out, pan out, and then it just goes like, yeah, oh, what are you panning out? You done me talking? He just starts yelling. Have Norm Macdonald be the Grubhub guy. Then I would laugh and I would go 5 out of 5. This movie rules.
But you would have had to establish him before that. You can't just have Norm Macdonald do a cameo where he plays Norm Macdonald at the end.
I think you could, dude, because this movie didn't care about anything else.
I mean, very true. And so then the credits roll for a while, and I don't know if Kevin saw this part.
Oh, well, they're on the boat?
They're on the boat. We have Cal Sr. He's been asked to ad-lib with Rob Schneider, and it doesn't go over very well.
Because guess what? Rob Schneider didn't give him no room.
No, yeah, Rob Schneider stifles every fucking joke with like his own, like he's basically trying to out funny Cal Sr. and it's not working because I already loved Cal Sr. and it's just very much like, if you want to know how the entire movie is, just watch that scene. Watch someone who's actually genuinely funny just get shit on by someone who's old and used to be funny, because that's his fucking movie. That's just fucking movies.
And they don't want to give up their fucking place. Yeah, they're just like, hey man, I've been so funny for 30 fucking years. I don't want to give up my spot and let you get any fucking shine. So fuck you. And the Cal dude's like, his responses are so awkward. Where he's just like, damn, you didn't give me anything with that. Bro, it's comedy. You got to play off of each other to make something funny. But you're fucking burying this guy. You're shitting on you're not fucking doing anything for him. You got to work together.
Is, like, these actors, they're not. Like, they aren't ad-lib actors. Like, I get it, Adam Sandler. You did that one movie with Judd Apatow about ad-libbing, and now you think, like, we all should do that. No. Like, you shouldn't. You've all been script actors since SNL. Don't try to fucking do it now, you know?
You have to have it, like, it's a hangout movie. They're just hanging out. I don't think they really cared. They were just fucking around.
It's Grown Ups 3.
Yeah, they were just fucking around. And you know what? And that's what upset me the most about it, because like, I think the chick has 1,000% potential, and I think the Cal Jr. dude was a fucking just a hidden gem. And and I think like we've said a trillion times, or at least I've thought it a trillion times while talking about this movie, is those two together with the right direction, they could kill it. They could be seriously funny.
Yeah, they had instant. They're the only ones in this entire shit film that had instant chemistry. Where I was just like, "Oh, what's happening here? Oh, it's so
Yes.
it's over. Oh God, it's fleeting. It's so fleeting."
Yeah.
And then I had to just like watch the rest of this movie.
You're just begging the whole time, please God, put them together one more time, just for a second. He was like, you get one, and I was like, oh, thank you.
And they won't be together, but the joke will continue. And you're like, oh.
Baby, you should get off your stupid ass and do something about it. I was like, baby, I will, God. Baby, I will. He's like, you won't.
It's just like I feel like this movie is a very much like, because there was that whole thing, like it's probably been a couple years now, of like the comedy table and how the old comedy guys, like they're now like the heads of that table in New York and stuff, and they don't let certain comedians sit at the table. Like you gotta like earn. It's like very mafioso of the comedy world or whatever. And like Chris Rock and a lot of these other guys are like at the head, and Jerry Seinfeld are like the head of the tables and everything. And I feel like this is very much like that statement too, of like, yeah, our shit still makes money, so we're still the funny ones, and don't come with your shit because we'll just let it die. We'll just no sell you.
You know what it makes me think of, man? It makes me think of Chevy Chase. Like I loved Chevy Chase as a kid. I thought Chevy Chase was brilliant. I grew up with Chevy Chase. I thought I wasn't there in his prime SNL years. I was too little. I wasn't even around. But when he hit that
I wasn't
stride,
even in the ball sack yet.
Yeah, dude. I wasn't even a fucking mistake at the bottom of a beer. Fucking
That got real sad and dark.
it's too real. Like I thought he had great deadpan delivery. I feel like it was real snarky, but it was just, and he would sell with his facials and stuff. Like he was great, right? And then he did Community, and Community, he was cool, but then you find out like he's just a real bitter kind of racist dickhead, and you're just like, God, fuck this guy. Like, kill your fucking heroes because they're all shit and they're all just people and they're gonna let you down, right? So then I just start hearing all these stories about how they're just these elitist gatekeepers. You know what I mean? Where they kind of pave the way, and they think that holier than thou. It's like, bro, like you're not funny anymore. You're older. The comedy and styles have changed, and what you used to say and get away with, that's just not funny anymore. Like it doesn't play. The cultural sensitivities, like our ears and views as a culture and a community, has changed.
Yeah, just because you get up on the stage doesn't mean you can say anything, but it doesn't mean that I have to find anything you say funny. So you can talk about whatever you want. That's fine. Okay, you feel like that's your safe place to do that. Doesn't mean that I'm entitled to laugh.
And it's because we absorb comedy differently now. It's different, and you have to kind of be conscious of that. You can't just be like, oh, we have cell phones now, we do this. We're kind of doing modern versions of our 90s movies. If you could make these movies in a kind of vacuum, and they're fine, I guess, but they're not going to, like, I just don't think people respond to this stuff, and I think it gets what it gets just because of the name value and the namesake of the good old days. You know what I mean? And
it has an aging audience, but an audience, audience of our generation.
It's a loyal audience.
Yeah, that has grown up. Like, find someone our age that doesn't know Adam Sandler, like 10 Adam Sandler movies off the top of their head. You know,
exactly, dude. Like he was that guy for that time. Like, it's just like Bill Murray. Like, I know everyone loves Bill Murray, but like, fuck Bill Murray. He's the reason you didn't get Ghostbusters 3 or whatever. He's the reason a lot of shit didn't happen.
Yeah. Because
he's a weird, selfish fucking dude, and the shit he does do, to his own choice and right, it's all up to him. But that's awful. What's that movie with the fucking Sith guy in it, and they're zombies, and there's the two small town sheriffs. The Dead or whatever, something.
Yeah,
dude, I dare you to watch that fucking movie, man. I saw it. It killed me. It killed me inside. Like, I was watching it with my girlfriend. She was like, "What the fuck?" She fell asleep, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm alone."
She was like, "Did the Rilo Kin guy? Did he do the funny ha-has? Is he funny?"
No one's funny in this. Funny? Everyone just talks like it's just so drony.
So,
I don't know. I don't want to talk about that.
If I ever meet Adam Driver, I'm just gonna have like him acting queued up on my phone, so I can be like, "Look at this! This is what we have to look at every fucking time. Learn from your mistakes, motherfucker. If I gotta listen to myself on a podcast, you gotta watch this shit and make it better."
I'm sure he's great, and I'm sure he's a nice dude that does like indie movies or whatever. Like, it's just the things that I've happened to see him in. I've just not been a fan of the overall product, but it just reminds me of that. It just reminds me of this old guard that still believes what they're doing is just fucking gold, and it shows.
They want the younger, instead of helping the younger generation, they want them to overcome the same shit that they were put through by their old guard.
I don't even think that, dude. I just think they don't want to help anyone. They're thinking about themselves. That's why they do the grown-ups and they do movies like this. They just want another fat paycheck so they can go to Hawaii and hang out and get some sort of like a modicum of income based off of their namesake. Like, this should have been a total vehicle for her. It should have been written stronger for her to make her lovable.
Yeah,
to
like maybe let her write it. So
this should have been like
guys,
Melissa McCarthy and the fucking Bridesmaid. She broke out of that shit, and then now you hate her because she's just overstayed her welcome with that style. But like, this should have been that kind of thing for her, in my opinion. But no one was there to help prop her up. That's what it felt like. I felt like it was a waste of her talent because she's trying so hard. And
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I still don't like her. I mean,
hey man,
I would like to see her in something else, but it just, I think, unfortunately, like, I'm glad you can see, and I'm not knocking your opinion at all. I'm actually glad you could see past the performance she gave, the potential she has.
Definitely.
I couldn't. Like, I couldn't. I was just, and again, it's because I don't really like these like cable guy type movies, where it's like you have the one sane person and everyone else is crazy. I don't like those movies at all, because that's how I live my fucking life sometimes, and I don't like that. So I don't seek those out and go, haha, they're hilarious. It's painful for me, and so every bit of her performance was painful for me, because I was just like, I would kill myself. I would have already been dead. Like,
I give up.
The minute she showed up on the plane, I would have been like, okay, well,
crashing it.
I'm taking all these pills right now, and good luck. Pumping my stomach or whatever. I hope you're certified in that too.
Will it send me to dog heaven? I miss Don Bluth.
Fucking all dogs go to heaven, they say. Glug, 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 glug.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just...
Is the room for me? You're not a dog. Oh, shit.
I took all the dog pills, though.
You're not a dog. Dude, Larry, come here. What's up? We got another dude thinks he's a dog. He's not a dog. You're not a dog, dude.
Just give him a big clock and tell him to go. Just do it. Whatever.
What, like the movie?
Just like the movie.
All right, just go away. Here's a Flavor Flav clock. Don't come back, though.
Yay.
Dude, these guys...
I'm like, oh, I'm in cat hell. This is bullshit.
Guys, y'all want to go to dog heaven? Fucking weirdos. I know, man. I'm out of clocks, by the way. So
I'm out of fucking clocks to give to dumb humans. Okay, so someone better fucking make some more dog clocks. Okay.
I could go to the alleys and pick up some Timexes. He's like, that's not gonna work. Hey, man.
A clock's a clock's a clock's a clock. Just like, what? Yeah, but I found her too painful to.
No, it's understandable. I can see that the humor is not going to be for everyone. I don't blame her in the least bit. Like I said, I loved her energy. I loved her potential. Like I said, I don't think it was propped up enough for her. They didn't write her character to succeed to me. They just made her like
they didn't write the movie to make sense and succeed to me either.
No, exactly. Throwing it away as a silly comedy where you're just supposed to veg out for $1.30. Totally, you can do that if that's your thing. Going back over it with a poorly plucked fine-tooth comb-ish kind of. It's got a lot of problems. Like I said, I had two big chuckles out of it. I think she said a couple of things that made me kind of laugh just because of how abrupt it was, where I was just like, what? No one, and then...
Yeah. But it was like you said, they were so fast, like nothing had time to breathe. So you can...
Exactly.
It's just kind of like you got it, you laughed, you might have missed something else.
And fuck this movie for not using Bobby Lee. That's kind of my opinion.
Yeah, that's still...
that was the last final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I mean, and another thing I wanted to touch on real quick before we, call it fucking put a fork in this fucker. It's billed as being raunchy, and Sure, maybe for like the 90s, it would be very raunchy, but I'm just like, man, this is what you guys consider raunchy? Like, huh. I mean, taking a dick pic and firing off a bunch of dick pics, that was raunchy, but like,
I mean, there's a couple of hand job jokes. Like,
yeah.
There's nothing really like. There's like a lemon.
I think one of the guys,
someone's ass that gets shot across the room.
Yeah, I mean, one of the guys worked on a Farley Brother movie. I think one of the writers or something.
What? That has nothing to do with the raunchy.
Well, because the Farley brothers could do raunchy comedies too. But
I didn't see that. I just think like not a lot of like. I'll tell you, most of the Adam Sandler movies that I've seen yet, like the one where David Spade was
You've seen all
a bad dad or something. I don't know if that's a documentary. Or
Father of the Year.
Nah, it was the one where he's like a hillbilly dad and the son's embarrassed of him. I don't know, man. I could probably talk
too.
I could probably talk about all of them and not know any of them. Yeah, out of all of them, I think this one might have the most graphical stuff. I mean, she's doing a hand job and like they do a little jerk off motion again, but you don't really see anything gross or no fluids or anything. There's some barfing. Is that raunchy? I don't fucking know.
Well, I think like some of the dialogue is probably
she like let me see that dick. That made me laugh when she texted that. She's like, let me see that dick. And I kind of chuckled because I was like, let me see that dick. That's funny. If I had a nickel every time I heard that, I'd have 10 cents. I think, it
was definitely Father of the Year that you're thinking of.
Okay, yeah. I don't think of anything, I don't know if you would want to watch it with mom, basically, but,
No, I mean, I'd say watch it with your parents.
I guess.
That way you just,
if you're like adopted
never, so you're just like never tempted to
I adopt you and you make me watch this. Fuck you.
You're going back to the orphanage. That's what you're doing.
Like that YouTube chick.
Come on, man. I wasn't trying to like bring us all down.
What a piece of shit.
I mean, like, not everyone's meant to be, you know what, we're not going to go into this, but like not everyone, she knew her shortcomings. Like, you want her to be a shitty mom. Like,
yeah, you already are. Don't sign up for the pony if you can't ride, bitch. Fuck off.
No, I mean, it's just,
Hey,
I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more to the story, but we're not here to fucking talk about that, Kevin.
The media won't let me know it, so
we're here to shit on David Spade
and
the wrong Missy, who I don't trust anyone in my office because they all seem to enjoy this movie, and that was very concerning. Very concerning.
In all honesty, it's an easy watch for people that just want to see something for an hour, 30 minutes and kind of chuckle. If you're kind of just like going to scrutinize everything you watch like fucking I do, or maybe even Dustin, then yeah, you're going to be like, fuck this. But if you're just here for a laugh, you want to watch with your buddies or your family, you're gonna laugh for sure. But if you're going to go to the lab and be like, what was the motivation factor for this character? You're going to be let down severely.
Yeah. Also, I think this is like our fourth $130 movie in a row. Like just hitting that $130 mark perfectly.
I don't time them. I just watch them and go, that was a waste of time.
Yeah. And now we've talked about this movie for way longer than $130.
I honestly thought this was going to be like a 20-minute talk. I was like,
nah. We had a lot. I knew I had a lot to say. You can find us on social media, Us Versus Movies, on Twitter, on Instagram. Leave us a comment. If you have a movie you want to see us cover, we're definitely open to that. Just leave a comment and we'll put it in the consideration pool. Doesn't mean we'll fucking do it if you're just like, hey, watch this horrible fucking movie. We're going to be like, maybe no. But otherwise, thank you for listening. And Kevin, take us away.
Thank you and goodbye.